Alright, everybody, this is Phil Birch checking in from Salt Cave. I just returned from the land of maple syrup and arrow bars, Canada. And I'm going to give you my detailed tournament report about the happenings in the UK Championship. Alright, so round one, um, I started off playing against Christine O'Brien. I seem to play her every single tournament. This time, I think we're about even. I don't know. I usually beat her, then she beats me. It kind of goes back and forth. She was playing, was it Chaos Keo? She was playing the non-hollow one, the Gen Con exclusive promo one guy. Um, he's pretty neat. We built him off of air here. But his ability to like keep throwing damage and speed at things is pretty annoying. So like it made up for all the damage and speed reductions that people throw at him. So the game went to 3, I believe. Round 1, I'm pretty sure I got tribbed or something to that effect because that's what Chaos decks do these days. Then I figured out that I needed to aggressively mulligan for Wear Between Sisters because Chaos doesn't have an answer for it. And it pretty much shuts down all their momentum. So games 2 and 3 were pretty lopsided in my favor. Vespera can shut down pretty much all Chaos decks, whether it be with Sting Kicks or, like I said, with War Between Sisters and stuff like that. So it was pretty decisive win in my favor. It took about the whole time, though, I was going to say. It wasn't a short game by any means, even with Chaos being kind of a derpy symbol, or what I'd like to call a derpy symbol, because all it does is attack. Its foundations are pretty ass. That was pretty much round 1, so I came out of round 1 1-0, feeling pretty good about myself. The rest of the Michigan guys pretty much finished around the same time as I did. A lot of us went into the second round 1-0. Jeremy had a pretty tough week, but he'll bounce back. He always does. He's a great player. He taught me everything I know pretty much, him and Andrew, so I have nothing but thanks for them. Round 2, I played Giggles, another Rochester player. It was a little bit closer than I would say I liked it to be. Usually when I lose the first game, I feel pretty much like I have to play perfect the rest of the games. So I usually tend to hate losing the first game. And the theme of this tournament was lose the first game all the time, pretty much. So Giggles goes first, I believe. Plays a couple of foundations. I keep a few in mind. Discard a Paralyzing Touch, play about 4. And then he just kind of goes in. But like that's kind of what you got to expect from Chaos. First game didn't last long. I got killed by a Trib. I took him down too low. If you know anything about playing against Tribs, you don't want to take them into desperation, and I ended up doing that. So that was my mistake. Games 2 and 3, though, I played flawlessly. I wouldn't kill him. I would take him to probably about 14, and I would just stop until I had enough to do the rest of the 14 damage. Because if you know anything about Omar, which is who he was playing, he just picks up Tribs, picks up Conquest, picks up Piercing Howls, and he just keeps going and going and going until you're dead. So I would hold tons and tons of high blocks. My deck plays about 17. That's a pretty good number to fight off any Chaos deck. And I side in War Between Sisters and stuff like that, or just to keep them off. Made sure I got him out, aggressively mulliganed again, just same as first round. And it led to me winning. So after that round, I'm 2-0. And we are finishing up, everybody's finishing up, and then I moved to the third round, where I played against Kaz from Oshawa. He's a pretty good player. He's a pretty cool guy, too. I just met him this weekend. I was surprised that Mike Lowe and Danny Fung had so many people who played that around them. I had heard about them, but I guess a lot of them had quit until recently. So it was good to see some new guys. He was playing a Life My deck, which is like Trip 7's favorite deck ever. He likes to troll me with it, because Trip 7's a troll. Everybody knows that. And basically, this game was pretty close. I finished 2-0 over him, but it was closer than like the 2-0 describes. Because that Mai can hit really hard. He was playing, he started with Foil Mai and then stacked the Gen Con exclusive Mai. And if you know anything about that promo, Foil Mai, she gives like 3-3 to an attack, and it's pretty ridiculous. So he'd play foundations like turn 1, I'd play some cards, then he'd like attack and 3-3 his attack. and that's hard to block for anybody, even Vespera, because usually my first build's only about 3 cards. So 3 cards, a +3 block. Let's see. He would have like 6 speed, so I could take the 5 +3 block. I need an 8. So if I check anything but perfect, I just get smashed. He did that, and then he'd quick exit, ready his character, do it again. Both games he took me down to about 3 when I'd kill him. It was pretty brutal. His deck's pretty good. I'm not willing to give the tip of the hat to Mai as a real good character. I think stacking is unreliable as a mechanic unless you have a way of accelerating it or you have a long game. And I think aggro stacking is pretty stupid. Not to say his deck was stupid, because it obviously was doing what it was supposed to do. He went into like the 4th round 3-1, or the 5th round 3-1, and just barely missed top cut. The rest of my matches for singles was very uneventful. I'm paired up with Keith Disbrow from Michigan in round 4, and we were both 3-0, so we just decided that we'd tie because we didn't want to fuck each other out of the top cuts. I wasn't disappointed by the situation. I knew that with another win, I could get into top cuts easily, so I just decided to draw with him. So we both drew. We just hung out, watched the rest of our guys finish their matches up, and kind of talked. I played him for funsies. He beat me. It was cool. The 5th round, I played against Tim Keefe. We talked about for about like 10 minutes, but we also decided to take a draw. 4 or 5-0-1 or 4-0-1, which is what he was, would get him into top cuts as the first seed, and he was cool with that. And then we decided that I'd be middle of the pack. Didn't turn out being a big deal. Middle of the pack was fine by me. So we decided on the draw, and we just went and got food. So then we did the first round of top cuts that night. I played against Danny Fung and his Death Alice deck. If you know anything about Death Alice, it's like Death Vespera, except it exclusively plays defense. So if you get into a super long game, you're kind of done. It's a really quite good late game deck. It doesn't really attack you, but at a certain point, you're going to be desperate enough to try and kill him, and that's when he's going to make his move. He did that to me game 1 when I thought, man, I've got this in the bag. He was at about 29 to start the turn. I took him down to about 10. Then he blocked my last attack in reversal with Surprise Punishment, and I had 4 cards in my card pool. So Surprise Punishment's Enhanced did 4 damage to me, and the Surprise Punishment itself killed me, because there's no way you can block a 5-speed attack with 4 cards in your card pool unless you're a man, apparently. And apparently I was not a man there that. Game 2, I played super conservative and made sure that there was no way that could happen again. I sided in Surprise Punishment, or, oh geez, what the hell's that card called now? Peaceful Messenger. Peaceful Messenger just for the extra speed. I also put in Celestial Being, and I took out all the copies of my Martial Arts Champion, because Death doesn't draw cards. I knew that from experience. He could draw, like, with Penance, but I think that was it. And it got to a really late game state, and since top cuts aren't timed, thank God, I would have lost if they were. I was able to give my attacks a bunch of speed, tons of damage, and burn myself into desperation so I could turn on cards like Into the Sunset and Know Your Objective. Those cards are really clutch late game. They can pretty much guarantee kills for it. So we went to game 3, tied 1-1, and game 2 just repeated itself. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it ended about the same. We just traded blows for a little bit, and then I ended up doing like all of his health pretty much in one turn towards the end with a bunch of speed pumps and damage pumps. So that was the end of day 1 in Quebec, which everybody speaks French in Quebec. If you didn't know that, I didn't know that. Barely anybody just speaks English. It was kind of annoying, but I understand, I guess. Okay, so day 1, I sleep in Canada's, or in Oshawa's room, and all of Mike Lowe's luck rubbed off on me, I guess, which was cool, because Mike Lowe was just giving luck to everybody, me and AJ, it seemed like. Alright, I went back at like noon on day 2, had to play against AJ. AJ's a great player from the West Coast. He's one of my best UFS like friends. He's a really cool guy, and it sucked I had to play him in top 4. His strategy, I guess he got probably from Garrett. All he did was trying to lay me out and make me milk game 1. which was pretty much the theme of Top Cuts. People trying to make me mill. So he got the same situation that Danny Fung got last round. He played me for a really long time, and he let me set up my speed pumps and damage pumps, and I just kind of killed him. It wasn't for effort with him. I had about 10 cards left in my deck when I did kill him, so his mill thing would have worked if I would have let the game go longer. Game 2, he tried to be a little bit more aggressive, which also falls in my liking. So I blocked, reversaled, and destroyed his stuff. Took him down pretty low, and then tried to kill him in one turn. We would have went to game 3 if it weren't for a bad check from him. I know that for sure. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to say that I didn't get lucky. He needed to block on like a 4, and he checked a 1 with 2 cards up. So, I mean, it happens. It's part of UFS. It's part of every top cut ever. Somebody's going to tell you about some bad luck that they had, and that was just his. So I 2-0'd AJ. Moved into the finals against Garrett Brett. And Garrett talks tons of shit to me because he thinks I'm at like the kids' table. I know it's just like fun games. He's a really cool guy. He's one of my friends too. It's just like a friendly rivalry at that point. But we go into the top cuts. Game 1, he tried to attack me early. I don't know why. I think maybe he didn't. I guess I was committed, so he figured I didn't have the touch in hand. Tacked. I blocked, reversaled with the touch. Took him down to 15 real quick, which is really good for me because doing 15 is a lot easier than doing 20, even if 20 isn't that much. He was playing Ball Bittner. I'm sure all their like deck lists, all these deck lists I'm talking about, will probably be in top cuts or on the internet as well. So game 2 went kind of a little bit better for him. I ran into that bad luck that I was just speaking about AJ running into. We traded blows for a little bit. He took me down to 3, couldn't confirm a kill. I took him down to 3. He tells me to show him the attacks, and I draw 1 mugshot. The only attack I drew, and he had a +1 bid block in Templar. So it was unfortunate, but it happens. So we go to game 3. The game gets pretty intense. It's down to the wire. He tries to throw Kaplow at me. I think that's the A difficulty one. And I think Kaplow is honestly awful against Vespera. Because you're going to have to always commit 3 cards. And you committing those 3 cards, that's a chunk of your staging area that I don't have to worry about committing for myself. So you commit 3 cards for me. I can block it easily because I can minus its speed, and it's only on a 5 for a block. So I can block it with Mugshot very easily. Then I can reversal your Paralyzing Touch and hit 3 more of your cards. So now you're down 6 cards on your own turn trying to kill me. I don't blame him. He said he never played the Vespera matchup, so I'm sure he wasn't thinking, hey, I'm gonna die if I play this Kaplow. But that's kind of ended up what happening. He Kaplows. I commit him out. I draw the grip full of attacks, and we play it out, and I end up winning. You can ask anybody. I wasn't like the most excited ever. I don't know why. I just didn't end up. I was exhausted the whole weekend. I'm really stoked that I won, and it was a great game. But like, if there was a video, you would think I didn't care, because I was just so mentally exhausted and fried from the whole weekend. So we drove all the way back, pretty much. We drove to Danny Fung, stayed there, drove back, and now I'm here as your US-UK national champion. They took it from us. We just took it back from them. So hit subscribe and stay tuned. All right, Phil Birch signing off.